Hey guys, this is Tyler. So, kind of letting you know if you missed the show that came out, one of the shows that came out last week, 247. We actually recorded on Friday night, the 12th, and recorded a lot of stuff. Went very long, and I decided to break up actually the second half of the show and release that part first since it was all Nintendo stuff and it was all pretty fresh with the direct and everything. And this was actually the first part we recorded. I say in the beginning in the intro it's 247. This is actually going to be officially 248. But in case you guys missed the second half, because I hype up Nintendo talk a lot in the first part of the show. If you missed that, check it out. Came out on Sunday. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 247 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler. Joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh, man, I am fucking tired, Tyler. But you know what? The Colonel does not sleep like any other regular dude. He is still trucking. He is still alive on this Friday night of recording. So, yeah, I am doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Doing all right. I'm going to do better here in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
This is like my first beers since we recorded last couple. It's been a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
Gables.
Fuck.
It was nice. We got a nice little break there. Obviously missed talking to Gables, missed doing the show, but it was, nice. I had to put time in editing a show, spending my Sunday editing, or spending my Saturday afternoon putting together show notes, or whatever. I just spent Saturday night. I just watched a bunch of Ash vs. Evil Dead on Netflix,
dude,
and it was great.
That sounds amazing.
It's an excellent show. I poop socked the whole show, both seasons. It's done. Yeah. No, I'm doing all right. It's been busy, with work. Busiest time of the year for us this time, in January and February, and it's busy. So, other than that, doing pretty good. How you been, Gables? I already asked the question, but
yeah, you've already asked the question, but I'll go ahead and chime in.
I forgot how we did this. Am I supposed to press record before or after?
Oh my god, that's a tribute to the first episode.
Almost 5 years ago.
That was almost 5 years ago, man. Shit. But yeah, you know what? I have been busy at work with stuff. A lot of crazy stuff has been happening in my life. But I have been playing quite a bit of games on Steam. So, if we may, let's go ahead and do a little bit of discussion to what we've been playing just to get it out of the way, don't you think?
Yeah, it works.
Okay, so there's this game that one of my coworkers wanted me to play when Steam had its winter sale. She wanted me to play Dead by Daylight. Now, being the person that I am, I've never actually heard of Dead by Daylight because, for one, I don't play horror games that much. But I decided to give it a shot. It's like, basically, she was bugging me at work, so when are you going to get Dead by Daylight? When are you going to get Dead by Daylight? When are you going to get Dead by Daylight? That's exactly what she would sound like, too, as, like, she would basically come back every time she'd empty a Metro, come back to see me. It's like, when are you going to get that game? When are you going to get this? And I asked her straight up, it's like, are you going to do that every time that I come through, that you come back here and, like, just talk with me? It's like, oh. And you know what? After that first day and stuff, I decided to go and get Dead by Daylight. I bought it for $10. I haven't spent any more money or anything else on it for the DLC stuff, which, you know what? That all depends upon what you want to get out of the game. But basically, the main idea behind Dead by Daylight is it's a 4v1 multiplayer game, online multiplayer game. It's sort of similar in terms of how Friday the 13th was released last year, to where it's basically almost the same principle, only the difference is that the online modes, there are more robust online modes for Dead by Daylight. You actually, through DLC, you can go through and play as different horror characters. Say if you're a killer and stuff and you buy a couple of DLCs that have like Freddy and like Michael Myers and like other types of like original creations. I mean, they could be pretty fun to play as, but I'll tell you what, it's awfully fucking frustrating trying to play against a Freddy player when you're a survivor. Quintessentially, what Freddy does is a monster character.
I got a question. So,
yes.
As a survivor, are you like? So it's 4v1. Are you like the Destiny's Child again? Like against like Freddy?
Oh, yes, you're a survivor, all right. Now, will you make it? That's the question. But, I got you there.
That was a good one. That was a good comeback.
But anyway, your role as a survivor is to try to power on these generators. Now, for, say, if you keep all of your crew alive, if you power down all 5 of the generators, there comes you can actually open the back door, you can find the exit and just leave by there, but if, say, one of you dies, or maybe like 2 of you die or something like that, if you have like 3 generators that are left, there's a hatch that somehow appears on the map, right? And it's automatically random. You don't know where it's at, you have to find it. And sometimes it's open, sometimes you have to go through and like power on like a fuse box or something in order to open the main back door. And I'll tell you what, the last match I played with Dead by Daylight with my coworker and stuff, and like a few other random players and stuff, I actually managed to not only open the door and stuff, but I actually had a chance to escape. It was one of the first times I did that, you know. It's like she got off the last generator and I opened the door, and then like I was like, come on, don't taunt, go ahead, just get to the exit and stuff. Because here's something that she does. She loves to troll players, right? And so what she tries to do, and I've seen this firsthand through spectating her matches when I'm dead, like in a round or something, where she was literally on top of a hatch, right? She could have just went through it, but no, she had to wait until the killer was there, right? And she was like thinking, oh, I'm gonna go through it, I'm gonna jump and like dive into the thing as like the killer guy appears and tries to get me. What ends up happening was she did it at the wrong moment, and the killer caught her and just basically just fucking just stole any almost escape. And I kept telling her, it's like, you should have listened to me. You should have escaped out of that hatch. You had to go for the cockiness.
You got to listen to your colonel.
You got to listen to the colonel, lady. Mm. Anyway. Gotta listen to the Colonel, Petit. But anyway. Anyway, the game in and of itself, I feel, is pretty fun. It can be nerve-wracking, especially if you're paired off against a bunch of random players that don't know what they're doing. And I'll tell you what, I'm still very new to this in comparison to how she is, where she's like over 200-something hours. She's working on her 3rd prestige on the character that she has. And so basically what you get after each match, you get these things called blood points, right? These blood pathogens or something. Yeah. And you can invest them on specific types of, like, stats or items or what type of perks and stuff. And after a certain amount of levels and stuff, you get to equip perks, you get to equip, like, certain items. So there are one-time use items, say, like, toolboxes or, like, flares or whatever. And basically what you can do is, if you have a toolbox, it'll actually help you in terms of repairing, like, say, a generator faster, or if you had, like, some sort of other types of supplies, you could actually sabotage, like, one of the hooks. And speaking of the hooks, how you die in this game is really interesting. Across the maps, there are these hooks that the killer can actually hang you from, like, by your chest. Now, the thing is, if you try to escape off these hooks, you literally have a 4% chance of going through and actually escaping off the hook yourself without dying.
25% chance? That's good.
I've actually tried once, and I died. But, no, other players can actually come forth and pick you off the hooks. They could heal you, they could do this and do that. But you can also sabotage these hooks by, doing that. But after you do that, you have, maybe a 3 to 5 minute wait period before the thing regenerates. So the overall purpose in just dismantling that is to get the killer's attention so that maybe your squad mates can go and get, a generator done or something. And you know what? When you try to power on these generators, there's a little mini game where you have to match where the space bar is within this, specific type of, line. So if you manage to, fuck up, and trust me, I fucked up a lot, the generator would explode. It would basically explode, and it would alert the killer where my presence was. So you can imagine old Colonel Gables here trying to go forth, and it's trying to turn on a generator, and all of a sudden, a minute later, kaboom! Kaboom! And you just hear her in the back, it's like, really? Again? Yeah, what? That's basically my gameplay stuff with my coworker. Oh God, she's such a fucking spitfire. But anyway, now with this game and stuff, I've managed to get all the way up to level 14, which by way of leveling up, you just have to unlock these specific types of skill trees. I've already said that they are perks, weapons, this and that and stuff. But once you get to a certain level, you can actually unlock additional perk, stat perk things that you can equip. Say you can have upwards to maybe 4 or 5 depending upon the character, 4 or 5 different things that you can equip perks on. My character that I'm using right now is it can only do 1. So I have 1 perk that I can equip onto her, and then you can go through and level up. Then at level 15 it unlocks another item slot or something for you to just equip the perk onto and stuff. It's basically progression through just being dead over and over and over. But the funniest part about it is it actually is a pretty fun game. And I'm very surprised that I actually got hooked on this game when I bought it. So, other than that, I have been streaming bits of games here and there. I tried streaming Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, from the Nathan Drake collection on my PS4. Last Sunday, I decided to go through and try to play the game on Crushing.
Ooh, okay.
The Crushing mode is kind of funny, whereas the first chapter I died 3 times because I kept getting headshotted while people were on the freaking, boats, these freaking Somali pirates or whatnot, just trying to attack your fucking boat in the middle of nowhere. But everything was all fine and good. I thought I was doing relatively decent until I got to the midway through chapter 4. And there are all these thugs that are coming out of the woodwork. And I literally went through and I had to try to master what thug do I have to take out first. Not only that, I have to figure out how many shots am I going to take in this. I have to micromanage. That's something I don't do in video games while I'm playing these type of games. Because if I'm playing an action-based, an action-adventure shooter or something like that, I just basically just kill whatever and stuff and then just go through on the next thing. It's no. On the Crushing mode of Uncharted, I have to go through and plan, okay, I gotta take this thug out first. I gotta make sure that I don't leave alive this guy with the assault rifle, so he'll just easily just kill me in 2 hits. And then all of a sudden I gotta go forth to this area so that the spawn point for this guy, basically the next wave does not go forth and literally just shoot me in the head from above the trees. Those moments basically happened to me. And so I'm right towards the last part of chapter 4. And I decided to call it quits. I went through 2.5 hours on stream for my Twitch channel, which is also under Colonel Gables. And other than that, I had been streaming, like I said, Death by Daylight. But I also been streaming more of Cuphead, earlier on this week, I streamed a little bit of. I basically went through Barris von Bonbon in World 2, that crazy freaking like lollipop lady that just basically has a gigantic freaking like sugar and gumdrop castle with all her confectionery like demonic shit, you know, with the cupcake and the gumball machine, the candy corn, the jawbreaker, and the diabetes. Anyway, I took on that.
Ganondorf the DS diabetes? Is that what it was?
Ganondorf and his diabetes. Anyway. Actually, that would actually be pretty fun to have on a t-shirt. Ganondorf's diabetes.
No left foot.
Oh, God, where is this going? Anyway.
I don't know what we're doing anymore.
So, anyway, I went through that. Went through, I think, 1 or 2 actual transversing stages, and I faced off against another boss. Which, this is a gigantic bird inside of a birdhouse. And it's you inside your jet have to go through and beat this thing. And it has like 4 or 5 different types of layers to where first you're facing off against the bird inside the birdhouse. Then the birdhouse kind of crumbles and like the bird is so pissed at you that it's shooting feathers all across the screen. And you have to navigate like a bullet hell style game in order to try to not get hit, and then all of a sudden it's like the birdhouse explodes and you have a little baby bird that's inside the middle. Then it's like you kill the baby bird and all of a sudden you have the fucking these 2 paramedic birds is taking the first bird's corpse up the freaking thing and like it's like shooting eggs at you. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's that type of moment which those type of moments in Cuphead in general are so amazing because it's like you don't know what's going to happen next, and once it does, you're like, oh my god, that's so clever. That is so creative. But yeah, you know what? Other than that, though, that's pretty much been what I've been gaming.
Nice.
How about you, Tyler?
You know, I'm in that weird place, kind of like I was about this time last year. Not so much gaming fatigue, but for the first time really since probably Resident Evil 7 or Horizon came out, like I don't have anything that I'm like wanting to play, or I don't have a crazy backlog. I'm just kind of playing whatever, and nothing's really been grabbing me lately since really a lot of our break. Like I said, I watched bunch of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Been kind of watching shit more lately, but as far as what I've been playing, I have played a couple new stuff.
Yeah,
one not a couple of them not so new. I started playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's on the PS4 flash sale. It was like $10. Picked it up, played that. I beat it back on Xbox One when it came with my Xbox when I bought it, and been playing more of that. It's fun to play it through, and it was the definitive edition, so I had all the season pass stuff. So did some of the DLC on there. I don't want to say too much more about it, but yeah, I like that game. It's Uncharted in a way, a lot of Uncharted in a way with some Metroidvania stuff to it, which I'm kind of hit and miss with them on that, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It was kind of a fun little time sink there when I was wanting to play a game, but I didn't really want to get too crazy because there's a bunch of this side shit you can do in it.
Yeah, you know what we call those type of games though, where it's like it's in between of a major release and stuff. We call those in betweeners, where it's like you just get done with a big old major game that you've been spending hours upon hours, maybe even like months playing. Then all of a sudden it's like there's like a small window where you just want, okay, maybe I'll pop in this game and see if it's fun. Then all of a sudden you play through that, so okay, that was fun, and then you go through the next big wave of shit. Yeah,
it's not really an in between of one big game. It's just been like I said, like a year of big games. You know, 2017 was that's what 2017 was.
Yeah,
just a year of big game after big game, and so it's just kind of nice, kind of like, like as much as we love games, it's just like
you got too much.
Yeah, like
it was.
You don't have that anxiety. You don't have that pressure. Like I gotta play this because I got 3 other big games I gotta play.
I kid you not, Tyler. I just am at the period and stuff where it's like I do not feel like buying any games.
Yeah.
At all right now. Nothing. That's really unusual for me.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where I mean, like, there's games coming soon that I want to play and I'm going to buy or I've already actually paid for. but like I'm just kind of enjoying this downtime. Like actually, I even saw like I was talking about in the year review show about games we wanted to play from 2017 we haven't played yet.
Yeah.
And near Automata.
Yeah. It's either or at this point, Yeah. I just say Automata.
Yeah, whatever. Near Hulkamania.
Running wild.
Yeah, Run Wild. It's on sale for like $30 on BestBuy.com, and it's like I got the Gamer Club thing, so I can get it for like $22. I'm just like,
yeah,
that's a really good deal because I was gonna go like I went to GameStop during like last week or whatever and trade some stuff in, and I was gonna buy it. I'm like I'm gonna buy that used, and they didn't have a used or new copy of it. I'm like, oh holy shit, okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game from what I understand, and people really want to get that game.
Yeah, so I was surprised. I mean, it's been tough to buy, and so I was like, oh, I should get that. It's a good price. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. It's like I really want to play that game, but it's just like I kind of want to. Like I'm kind of enjoying this kind of like I know it's a video game show, but in a way, I'm just like there's nothing I feel like I have to play right now. At least that's fresh. That's new. And it's kind of a fun feeling. It sucks in some ways, but in other ways it's kind of nice, especially because I don't have like super a lot of time to play games right now, unfortunately. But
yeah, but you know what, Tyler? Just to chime in just for a moment, though. It's
go ahead.
I kind of feel the opposite way, where it's like I feel like I'm actually glad that there's no big releases at the moment, but also I'm just glad that I have the games that I do have. In terms of I want to go through and play them, even though I don't have like too much since I'm doing a lot of the online multiplayer stuff now, when it's like, hey, you know what? This is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about that type of stuff.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, I agree. It's just, I there's a lot of games I'm excited to play, and we'll get into more of that because the beginning of the year is filling up quickly as far as video games coming out. Looking at the video game calendar, but yeah, I mean, I played a couple other things. I mentioned for Christmas, my sister bought me Friday the 13th, the video game.
Yeah.
I haven't played a lot of it. I played probably 3 or 4 hours of it. It's in a way, it's very similar, the core concept to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Listen to you talk about it. Differences, obviously key differences, but it's 8 players, 7 versus 1. One person's Jason, and then there's 7 camp counselors, and there's a handful of different maps, and basically you either like there's like I think there's a 20-minute time limit, so either you survive 20 minutes, and if he doesn't kill you in 20 minutes, then you win, I guess. There you can like find his little hut, I guess, which I heard is like super rare, almost never happens, and it has like his mom's severed head in there.
Oh.
And if you get in there and you get the head, like you win. You can actually kill Jason. But I also heard that is also extremely hard. There's actually like a trophy for it. And I think only like 20% of people that played the game got it.
Wow.
So, I mean, I played some games where he took a lot of damage and didn't die. But yeah, like I said, the key thing is surviving. You pick up weapons, pick up health packs. You hide. You can hide under like other beds or in closets or stuff like that, and like you can also find like you can escape on a boat. You find parts for the boat, you find a propeller and some gasoline. You can escape in cars, but you gotta find the battery, gas, and the keys. There's 2 car. Every stage I think has 2 cars. One's a 4-seater, one's a 2-seater.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's a lot of fun. Like it's not like there's a lot of jank to it, like there's a lot of like a lot of glitching, not bugs, but glitches. Where like I was having a lot of issues. Where like, I had one issue where I was on the other side. I was inside a house, and Jason was on the outside of the house, and he was chasing me, so I went through the window, and he actually like grabbed me, like he clipped through the environment of the house and grabbed me and killed me.
Whoa!
He didn't break the wall down or anything like that. He's not Chris Jericho. He's not breaking down walls. But he grabbed me and he actually pulled me in and killed me. So I mean, there's some jank to it, but I mean, it's not game breaking anyway. I mean, it can definitely ruin games at times, but it's not like
Yeah.
it's just part of the the game, I guess, in a way where it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna make your game experience any worse. It's not like Call of Duty,
No.
It's just kind of a fun like. I'm not taking it super seriously. It's fun to hop in, play a few matches.
Yeah.
I got to play as Jason once, and I am a terrible Jason. And I think it just got all kind of comes with like playing it over time. Actually, my sister loves that game, so I played it with her. She taught me a lot. I was at one point when I was Jason, she was the counselor, and I'm Jason, and she's actually helping me trying to find counselors and explain to me how to it took me like 5 minutes to figure out how to get out because you start in Jason's hut. And I'm like, I don't know how to get out of the hut. Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? And but he has like powers. Like, he has warp powers. He has certain where you can sense. Like, so if you run a lot, like you have like the counselors have fatigue and like there's different counselors you can play as, and each of them have some are better at repairs. Some are have better luck when it comes to getting away or being found. Some have more stamina. Some are faster. Like there's all benefits. There's all ups and downs to playing as every character, and yeah, but yeah, it's a fun game. Like it's a game that I wish I knew more people that had this game because it'd be like almost like a Rocket League where like I would love to play that game anytime with people.
Oh my god, dude! Like that definitely sounds like me playing Death by Daylight now. It's like if I didn't have anybody to play the game with, I probably would not be playing it as much as I have been right now. I have like about fucking 16 hours with that game already. Yeah. That's crazy to me to think that way, but
yeah, and that's why I am with Friday the 13th. Where I was like, man, if the Talk Ship group, like a bunch of these people bought this game, I would fucking love that because we would have a hell of a time playing that game. Just 8 of us getting together and just being dumb, and it's a dumb game. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a very good way.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's just a fun, janky ass game. But yeah, I enjoy playing it, and I played a little bit of Undertale. I actually picked it up on PS4.
Yep, played a little bit of Undertale.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe I need to play it some more. I played it for like an hour, and I just got annoyed with it, and I was like, fuck this game. So I quit playing and I uninstalled it. I don't know. The humor wasn't hitting me. The combat's kind of meh. I don't really care. I don't know. Maybe I need to give it a second chance, but I was like, I played it for like an hour, and I was like, I'm done. So that's pretty much really what I'm playing. Not a whole hell of a lot. But Gables.
Yes.
There's been a lot of fucking news since we stopped.
Oh yeah.
Since we recorded. It's been a few weeks since we recorded a regular show. Nintendo's been big in the news, but you know what? We're gonna save that stuff for last because I think it's gonna take up a lot of time. But before we get into the news, actually, I want to go over our 2017 overall Game of the Year and a quick recap. As of this recording, Part 2 is not out yet. We're recording on Friday night on the 12th, and the show goes up on the 13th. But I wanted to run through real quick each of our top 10 lists, and then the overall top 10 games for us. So what I did, and I do this every year, is I take our list, and if you were 10th on somebody's list, you got 1 point, and if you were first on someone's list, you got 10 points, and it kind of falls into place after that. So if you got like 9th, you got 2 points. If you were second, you got 8 points, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna run through everybody's list real quick, and then I'm gonna tell everybody our overall and the points they earned. So for my list, number 10 was South Park: Fractured But Whole. Number 9 was Life is Strange Before the Storm. 8 was Evil Within 2. 7 was Destiny 2. 6, Zelda Breath of the Wild. 5, Wolfenstein 2. 4, Hellblade. 3, Mario Odyssey. 2, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And number 1 was Horizon Zero Dawn. And then on Justin's list, he had ARMS at number 10. Number 9 was Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. 8, Horizon Zero Dawn. 7, Wolfenstein 2. 6, Super Metroid. What the fuck was that game called?
Metroid 2 Samus Returns.
Return. That's right, thank you. I just wrote Metroid, I forgot what it was called. Sorry. 6, yeah, that game. 5 was Cuphead. 4 was Sonic Mania. 3, Resident Evil 7. 2, Mario Odyssey. Number 1, Zelda Breath of the Wild. And moving on to Gable's list, his number 10 was Cuphead. Number 9, he had Ghost Recon Wildlands. Number 8 was ARMS. 7 was Destiny 2. 6, you had Tetris.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah, Puyo.
You still can't get
Yeah, I
it even
can't
after
do it,
so many
man.
months. The Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Puyo.
You sound like you have a Japanese accent.
I
Puyo Puyo.
I should host like a Japanese game show. Put that game, the Puyo Tetris. Then you had Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. 4, Injustice 2. 3, Sonic Mania. 2, Zelda Breath of the Wild. And number 1, Mario Odyssey. So I took all that. A few things actually before we get to our number overall is that we had over the potentially 30 different games, we had 19 different games this year.
Fuck.
Which is actually, I thought was surprising to me, a pretty big disparity there overall, just because a lot of big games came out, and I thought we'd have a lot more in common than we did. So 19 out of potentially 30 is, I think, pretty good. But also Justin and I had 5 games in common: Horizon, Kingdom Battle, Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2, and Zelda. Gables and I had 3 in common: Mario, Zelda, and Destiny 2. Gables and Justin had 5: Mario, Zelda, Sonic Mania, ARMS, and Cuphead. And then all 3 of us had 2 games in common: Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, so our overall top 10 list, there was actually a 3-way tie at the end there with 7 points each: Hellblade, Injustice 2, and Cuphead. You and Justin both had Cuphead on your list, gave it 7. And then you had Injustice 2 at 4. And I had Hellblade at 4. So that's why they fell in there.
Oh,
and then
wow.
There's also a tie for 7th place with Destiny 2 and Resident Evil 7. Justin had Resident Evil 7 at 8. And then you and I both had Destiny 2 at 7. So that's how they ended up there. Number 6 was Wolfenstein 2 with 10 points. Justin and I both had it ranked. I had it 5th. He had it 7th. Number 5 with 11 points was Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I had it at 2, and Justin had it at 9. Horizon Zero Dawn with 13 points at 4. I had it at number 1, and Justin had it at number 8. And then Sonic Mania was number 3. You had it at number 3, and Justin had it at number 4. And then number 2, Zelda Breath of the Wild with 24 points. I had it at number 6. You had it at number 2, and Justin had it at number 1. And then last but certainly not least, with 27 points, Mario Odyssey. I had it 3, you had it 1, and Justin had it 2. So 3, 2, 1 there. So pretty good. I mean, overall the top was, I think, obviously the top 2 games we all had on our list. But yeah. So overall, our the Drunk Dash Nerds game of the year, based off points, is Mario Odyssey, which is hard to dispute there. My 2017 game of the year will always be Captain Toad. But yeah, always remember Captain Toad. Anyways, moving on to some of our news. Kind of some big things going on here lately with Destiny. Destiny 2 to be exact. So first up, this happened about a week ago, but Destiny 2, there's some expansions, like the PSN, the PlayStation Store actually leaked some details on the second expansion. It's called Gods of Mars. There's gonna be a brand new area called Frigid Vale of Mars. There's gonna be new enemies, bosses. There's a bunch of new story missions, gears, weapons, armor, some new co-op activities, and a new multiplayer arenas. And I think there was like a release window, but I couldn't remember what it was. But it wasn't in the article that I found, but I thought there was some talks of when the release window was. We both had a season pass for Destiny 2. I did play that a little bit. I'm actually at level 23 now. I forgot to mention that, Destiny 2.
Oh, awesome.
I haven't played any of the new deals, the new season pass yet, but I've just been doing some of the main quests you unlock after you beat the main campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah. Have you played any of that first DLC expansion?
I played maybe a couple missions of Temple of Osiris, but other than that, though, I put the game down for a bit because I kind of got a little bit. Like fatigued with Destiny 2 because going through the whole thing with like my friends and stuff, and then we did like a couple missions for like Temple of Osiris, did a couple things with like exchanging stuff reserved, but after the whole Dawning stuff, we just went forth and we started doing our separate stuff. I haven't touched the game personally, I think about a week or two.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't played it yet. I haven't played the first part yet, but I've heard some mediocre things. We'll talk about that more in the next story.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It seems like the people in the Destiny world, the players of the Destiny world are a little excited about this with the new area and everything, and hopefully it's better than the last one. But I don't know. I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm curious to see what's going on with that. I think it's going to play off more how the first expansion ended. But let's move on to the next story with Bungie. Or with Destiny 2 rather. But Bungie is promising big changes to Destiny 2 this year, and actually fairly soon. So Chris Barrett, he's a director of the game's current team, came out and said this: the team has been hard at work, and we're ready to share where we are headed. We used to wait to talk about game updates until we were certain we could meet our deadlines to avoid letting players down. If we change our plans, no longer. We're not just listening; we are doing. So we're not. I mean, Gables maybe a little more because I know you've been hooked on it the last couple months, but especially me, and we are not the biggest like people when it comes to like knowing Destiny inside and out.
True.
We definitely we praise Destiny. We both had number 7 on our list this year. I have said a lot of great things about Destiny 2, and so have you. And we're just kind of like casual Destiny fans.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of interesting reading when I saw this. This just came out I think yesterday. I heard a little bit of it, but I didn't think it was as bad as it was with Destiny 1. But people with Destiny 2 are maybe the most like, I don't want to say outraged, but most like vocal about their disappointments and with everything going on with this game, where they have focused more on the Eververse, which there's more going on with the Eververse, which is the real world
microtransaction stuff.
Yeah, real money store they have where they had the holiday event, the Dawning, and a lot of it was based around getting cosmetics that you had to buy. It was real money. Then we were talking about the Curse of Osiris DLC pack came out a few weeks ago, and it was basically everything people were saying it was short, it was dull, and most of it was replaying old areas.
Kind of like the Dark Below.
Yeah.
From Destiny 1.
Yeah, and that's what people are saying. I mean, that's the thing that people are saying. This is almost mirroring Destiny 1, and that was fine in 2014 when they first released this game. It's 2007. It's the 2018 now. The game came out in late 2017. They've had 3+ years to get this game right. And in a lot of ways, like the opening package, September was a great month for Destiny 2.
Yeah,
it's like October hit, and then November hit, and December hit, and it's like, what are we doing? It's like we're just right back where we began. We've been saying it, like people have been saying it, we've been saying it. It's like, oh, they're gonna have their Taken King next fall in 2018, and it's like they're just mirroring what's going on with Destiny 2, and it's just kind of. I read a whole article actually. Kotaku, one of the people there, I thought it was a really interesting article, just going over all that and talking about it. Like a lot of people on Reddit are upset. It's just a lot of people are upset. So kind of the key things that they're doing, that they're saying they're going to do is they promise to, and in quotations, shift the balance, in quotations, for items like ghosts, sparrows, and ships from the Eververse, which is the real money store, to being able to earn them by actually playing the game.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then also, a quote he had was, "We recognize that the scales are tipped too far towards TES, which is the Eververse, at the moment, and Eververse was never intended to be a substitute for in-game content and rewards. They plan to have more tangible rewards for the in-game activities. They're going to bring back 6v6 multiplayer for the Crucible, because there's a lot of people that were pretty upset. It was a big thing when they announced they're going to go 4v4 in the Crucible, which is the online player versus player matchup. We talked about the dawning. People being really upset about that. And last but not least, you will finally be able to see the other members of your fire team on the destination map. No more having to ask your fire team where they went when they fast travel to another landing zone. So, yeah, I think a lot of there's a lot more stuff they announced too. A lot more like inside baseball shit that I read, and I'm like, I don't understand any of this shit. A lot more stuff with the modding and equipment and stuff like that. But they're also gonna. I think they said they were gonna try to add some more multiplayer modes for the Crucible. So yeah, I mean, there's some big stuff coming down the. I mean, not big stuff maybe for casual fans like me, but I think for the hardcore people that want more to go back to, that love Destiny, there's a lot. There's there's some big things coming, and it looks like they're trying. At least they're like they said, they're not just listening anymore. They're doing, and maybe for those people, I'm curious to see where, a few months down the line, where we're at with Destiny 2, and see if this stuff actually makes a difference. What about you?
I'm in the same boat. I'm of the mind where don't say, do. And at this point in time, Bungie has done a poor job of really going through this classification, the whole correction of the Eververse stuff that has been not only having longtime players of Destiny in general kind of up in arms because, like you said before, and like we have touched upon in the past weeks, where Eververse basically held a lot of the key powerful items that you could not even get inside the middle of the game unless paying for it. And to some extent, I kind of feel that Bungie probably is going to try to do something in terms of the Eververse. They're probably going to do some other type of thing because of Activision Blizzard just trying to go forth and just try to manipulate some of the microtransaction stuff to something less subtle and less sleazy as the Eververse currently is at its current form, where you have Tess, the person that's behind the freaking thing selling you this stuff.
Tess Eververse.
Yeah. Basically, just selling you just basic things of not glimmer, but bright stuff, actual silver, this and that and stuff, to where you can get some items that way. I mean, I like the idea that they're trying to work on the game's faults, but at the same time, I do not really trust Bungie to go forth and just fix a lot of this stuff in one fell swoop. I kind of the mind that they will try to do similar to what they did in Destiny 1, to where, here's the thing, after The Dark Below released for the original Destiny, they did almost the exact same thing when it came to updates and stuff. Not in terms of microtransactions, mind you, but in order to try to clarify to their fans, their actual extreme fans and stuff, that they are working on specific portions of the stuff to try to make it more appeasing and try to retain a lot of them, because this time around they really fucked up at the beginning to where they are losing people en masse. So the sooner they get this solved, hopefully, the less people are going to be dropping off after the first couple weeks. Because that's just the thing. If I hadn't gotten the whole, extra, season pass thing that personally you gave me and stuff, because of that whole, deal that you had through, I think it was Best Buy or something.
GameStop, yeah.
Oh, GameStop, yes.
I got the game for $30, and it came with, because of a pricing error, came with season pass. I got an email to code, which I put in right away. And then when I got the game physically mailed to me, it also came with a code for the season pass in it. So I gave my extra code to Gables.
In which I am very thankful for, because that's really a kind gesture by Tyler. But at the same point, if I did not have that, I literally would have been locked with my character just basically having 300 power and everything. Which inside Destiny stuff, the cap is 330. I think it is for power. But I think you're limited right now to about level 25 if you have the Temple of Osiris DLC. But if you did not have it, you would be stuck at level 20, getting bright engrams and stuff like that. That would only refurbish upwards to have a power of 300 instead of the 330. Or if you're breaking down weapons and try to get things up, you couldn't power up a weapon to say you could power up with maybe like only the 360 or something like that. But still, you would have been barred from actually going through and getting some of the best or the better weapons because of the whole recommendation, the required things of getting that DLC. So,
Yeah.
but I will say that I'm just waiting and seeing what Bungie does. I'm not going to criticize too harshly, but I'm going to go through and just take a grain of salt what happens next.
Yeah. That's pretty much all we can do, you know? It's like, by the end of Destiny, like, if we would have picked that game up in, I don't know, 2015, 2016, like, that probably would have been a really good game, you know?
Probably.
But, you know, I picked it up almost a year after it came out, and
I picked it up at launch.
yeah, you picked up at launch, and we you know, we talked about a lot, you know, over the course, but it was a fun game playing with friends. But you know, going with Destiny 2, like, I played that game entirely by myself, and enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you played with friends and enjoyed it quite a bit. I think you know, it's tough first going in because neither one of us, like, in a sense, are really like, there's a little bit of burnout, yeah. But I think for the amount of money we paid for it, and the personally for me, the amount of money paid for it, and the amount of fun and enjoyment I got out of it, it's been worth it for me. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy that we're gonna get a little more Destiny out of this. I'm glad for the people that are really into this, that this might be good things. But it is concerning that that players are dropping off faster than they did with Destiny.
Yeah.
And not only faster, but there's more of them dropping off more than ever. Then the whole PC thing, like listening to people talk about the game and talking to people that play the game, like their clans that they had, like either people just stopped playing the game or now they're on PC.
Yep.
Now there's more options of like where you can play the game at. Yeah, it's been a rough, not launch. It was the second highest selling game of the year, but it's just been a rough last couple months. You know, it's the same thing that the same issue they had last time around, and it's crazy to me that happened. At least this fast. You know, I figured it'd be good. You know, at the end of the year, they figured they haven't figured out. You know, but find out, and I didn't even, you know, I'm surprised that I didn't even hear more about this. Just how upset people were about this game, about kind of like where the end game was. But for a game that's supposed to have a 10-year plan, it's been outside of the first month of Destiny 1, the first couple months of Destiny 2, it's been a rough 3 years. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna, like, Destiny 3 is already in development. I'm not gonna sit there and say this is the end of Destiny, but or anything like that. This game does obviously very well. There's a lot of fans behind it. There's a lot of people still playing it. There's like IGN has a Destiny podcast. Somehow they do a weekly podcast for like the last 3 years, and it's one of the like 10 most downloaded shows every week.
Yep.
On our games and hobbies. So obviously there's a big audience behind Destiny. So this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But it's just how is this? What? So how is this gonna? What is Destiny the franchise gonna look like in 2024? You know, that's what I want to know. How are they gonna fix this? How they gonna make it better? A lot of big questions there. But anyways, let's move on to a couple more topics here. We got so Burnout Paradise HD. Apparently, I guess. There was like some leaks late last year, like November or December, about Burnout Paradise HD coming out. This is not been confirmed by EA or anybody, but there's like a game scheduling wiki that sounds like it is pretty on the nose when it comes to putting dates out. Has it set for a release date of March 16th in Japan. This isn't going to be like a full like remaster or anything. It's gonna be like it's just an upres version of Burnout Paradise. But
that's not bad.
No, yeah, it sounds like this might be a route. Like EA's been trying to basically just do Burnout Paradise for like I don't know, 11 years now. I don't when would that come out? 2007, I want to say.
Yeah, for over 10 years now, they've been
Yeah.
trying to emulate the success of Burnout Paradise. So it's like,
Their answer to finally matching the greatness of Burnout Paradise is just by oppressing Burnout Paradise.
which
12
is
years
equally
later.
part as depressing, but at the same time, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's also kind of awesome because Burnout Paradise was pretty fucking sweet back in the day.
It was.
Yeah. So didn't you get the platinum for that game?
I did on PS3. That was the first game my first full game I officially downloaded without having to buy it physical, and I literally got the platinum of that game, and the last trophy that I got in order to unlock it was take a picture of myself, my USB camera for PS3. That's it. And that was basically how I got my first platinum.
Nice. So, you'd be probably one of the better people to ask. Would you be interested in a Burnout Paradise HD?
Yes, I would be interested in replaying Burnout Paradise because the open world terrain for that game is really fun. There are a bunch of small missions, small races, small variety of different types of sorts that you can actually get lost in for like hours at a time. I remember going through and doing a bunch of crashing, basically just have the car go forward and just started crashing. You can do all sorts of various little points that you gathered up. But I also like the aspect of competing against friends as times and doing this and doing that. Plus, basically the whole overtone of Burnout Paradise is you have the Guns N' Roses thing, Paradise City, pretty much blaring. And that was probably my favorite thing about that game, to where you can actually listen to Guns N' Roses while you're driving, or any type of other popular music, not only for the time, but
it had
retro
a kick-ass soundtrack, man.
It was one of the best soundtracks for a racing game that I think I've heard in quite some time.
Early Tony Hawk, awesome soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a good comparison, because that used to be how the Tony Hawk games were, where you would hear these classic, now classic, rock bands, specific types of rap artists and stuff like that, that were kind of, not niche, but well known to that specific kind of generation of music fans, but those of us who were growing up as kids got a chance to first get exposure to it, could actually listen through it, and that's kind of how I was with Burnout Paradise for some tracks, but...
Yes. Never gonna forget Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Yeah, that shit's good right there, guys. You want to listen to good rap, Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Look that shit
Oh
up.
my
It's
god.
life altering. But yeah, Burnout Paradise, that game was that. I remember I got that excuse me. Still getting over a flu, so my voice is kind of in and out still. I had no voice a few days ago, so yeah. But no, Burnout Paradise. I am. It was I think it came out not too long after I got my my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And that, playing that with friends and just hopping in, that game was fucking so much fun. I remember getting Forza 2. Forza 2 was it came out. I got that basically I think that came out a week before I got my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Playing that with my friends was fun, and it was fine. It was a simulation, it was a simulator racing game. It was, but just going into the open world for the first time, when just driving around with your friends doing stupid shit, basically, one of the first of its kind doing that on consoles. One of the first games, probably the first racing game to do it. Like I said, the soundtrack was fucking fantastic. Just, you weren't even doing races or anything like that, or anything like crash modes or something. It was just driving around doing dumb shit. That game was incredibly fun, and I hope it's true. I hope it's not $60 when it comes out. If it's a downloadable $20-$30, fuck yeah, that's perfect for me. But I'm a little concerned that maybe it's not. Maybe it's nostalgia. I've been trying to think they've been people were saying, oh, it's no Burnout Paradise, all these Need for Speeds, all these Burnout, these Need for Speed games coming out, and they're trying to be just like that. And Forza, there's that Forza, is it Forza Horizon? That's
Forza Horizon. It's you know what? The only game series I can think of that closely matches Burnout Paradise in terms of scale would be the Forza Horizon 2, Forza Horizon 3 to a certain extent, and even the Forza Horizon, like Fast and the Furious stuff, to where
Yeah.
they borrowed a lot of things from EA's like Burnout Paradise, and a lot of it worked actually. That's
Yeah.
why I got so engrossed that one year playing Forza Horizon 2 on Xbox One.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, if there's a bit of nostalgia in that, and maybe it's just like that was like, it's almost like Outlast in a way for me. Like, I'm wondering if that's maybe what it is, where it's just like, Outlast was the first time I played a horror game of that type. Maybe
Yeah.
Burnout Paradise is that for all of us too. Like, maybe that's why we love that game so much, because it was the first time we played it, and now we just see a lot of people, like, we've seen a million copies of that game since. That maybe we just kind of burned out on burnout, for lack of a better term. And I'm just kind of curious. I hope not, because I want to forever love the memory that was playing Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm obviously I'm excited to see if this is true. If it happens, this rumor came out like a month or two ago. Then there's more stuff coming out for it lately in the last couple of weeks. Nothing's been announced yet, but it would make sense. A March release date being right before the end of the fiscal year would totally, I could see, be feasible. The only downside, I think, the only kind of bummer is that it's not a full like remaster
Right.
from all the rumors coming out. It's just a up-res, which whatever, that's fine. But for a card game, it's usually those are usually pretty much like graphic porn for your consoles. So yeah, I'm hopeful that this is true, because I would like to jump back into that. Just another game to fucking add to the March video game calendar. But moving on. The next topic before we get into the Nintendo stuff is Assassin's Creed Rogue is getting remastered. So this is like the forgotten Assassin's Creed game, other than not including the Vita one. This is so everybody talks about Assassin's Creed Unity, and it's a broke piece of shit. That game, it was the first one. That was the one that came out the PS4 and Xbox One. Had the weird women with no faces and all that shit, and clipping through the world. Well, Assassin's Creed Rogue was that came up the exact same day as Unity, but it was only a 360 and PS3 game, and it just kind of went on the radar. But it was like quietly like supposed to be a really well reviewed game, and it was a game I actually really wanted to play, but I just had no interest in playing my 360 at that point. It was already unplugged, sitting off in a corner somewhere. But it's finally getting remastered. It's getting brought to the PS4 and Xbox One on March 20th. It'll run at 4K and 1080p on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. This one, like, I remember the reviews coming out at the time, and people were saying it was like one of the, from a story standpoint, for the character, it was one of the better Assassin's Creed games, where like you actually start off as an assassin, and then you switch to a Templar in the game. Like, you become a Templar. You're one of the bad guys. Which for me, as a Assassin's Creed fan, or I don't know, maybe a previous, I don't know if I still am or not at this point. I was at one point. Was really intriguing. I just, it comes out in November. November's busy time of year for video gaming, plus 360. Didn't want to do that. So I'm personally kind of curious. Like, I talked about Assassin's Creed Origins. I didn't really care for it. And I'm wondering if that's more, is it the Assassin's part? Am I burned out on Assassin's Creed? Or did I just... Oh, well, dogs are fighting over a bone now. They're good now. But like, am I burned out on Assassin's Creed games, or am I just not like Assassin's Creed Origins? And that's what I want to know. Like, so I'm not... Probably, I don't know if I'm going to buy this day one or anything. I don't think I will. But I am curious, like, do I still have that love and that passion for Assassin's Creed games? Or if it really is gone? I want to know that, personally, as a gamer. Like, because it's a franchise that I've been playing for over a decade now. I have played, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 Assassin's Creed games. I've beaten all of them except for Origins. And like, this is in this one, like, of the main ones, I guess. So I'm I am curious to see if I like this or not, because this is still a pure Assassin's Creed game. So I know you're not the biggest Assassin's Creed guy, Gables, but I don't. This was more something for me, I guess, than you. But
Right.
any interest at all in Assassin's Creed or Rogue?
To be perfectly honest, I don't really have too much interest just because I haven't really enjoyed an Assassin's Creed game for a while. Not since, like, my playthrough of Assassin's Creed 2, which that was a lot of people's, like, entering point inside that series.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah. But, other than that, though, it's like I can't really think of anything, like, good or bad to say about Assassin's Creed Rogue. I mean, it's awesome that there are people that have a PS4 and Xbox One will finally get to experience them, but on the other hand and stuff, it's like I don't know what Ubisoft can do at this point to really get me interested in playing that type of game.
Fair enough. Hey guys, I'm back. This is Tyler. Future Tyler from the recording of this show. But that's kind of the abrupt into the show. Obviously, like I said at the beginning of the show, we broke up the last part and put it out earlier in the week. But thanks for downloading, listening. Hope you enjoyed that show. And we'll be back next week with a fresh new podcast. So thanks, guys. Bye. Excuse me. Few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.